We want to have an dataset application now. So for that, what I do, I go to Solution Explorer, go to app.config. Under app.config, you have to say connection strings. Then in that you should say add name equal to msnetdb, connection string equal to, then you should write data source equal to dot initial catalog equal to ms demo db, user id equal to sa, password equals to 123. Yes, this is your connection string. Close this, add helper class. Right click, add class. Class name helper.cs. Click on add. First add configuration tool. Right click on the project, add reference system.configuration. Click OK. Then you have to add one namespace using system.configuration. Then you should create one class, public static string connection string equal to configuration manager dot connection string square brackets में msnetdb, that is the name of the connection, dot connection string. That's it. This is the connection string we have. Save. Now coming to the next part, that what we learned, close this also. Then we try to keep something called data grid view control on the form. Increase its size. Plus, we went to properties. I asked you to give a name, GVEMP. And then I asked you to go for anchor tag to set all 4 directions, top, left, bottom, right, all. Save. Now, coming to the next scenario, that what we learn is now select the form, double click. Form load event is generated. Now go on top. You should add the code now. So first we write using system.data.sql client. Then come down. Now you have to establish a connection. You have to then after that you have to create SQL connection, and for that connection yesterday's scenario you have to follow, right? And another interesting thing of this part is I gave how to work with the table and all that stuff. Okay, so first what you have to do, come back here. We are in the form now. Here form load event is there. Above form load event, here I'm going to use first data set class ds object constructor, one class instance it is. Then SQL data adapter DA, this is one object. data table dt, another object. On the whole, three statements we have: data set instance, SQL data adapter object, data table object. Three statements we have. Three statements. Now, first you have to create a connection. So, to create a connection, you have to write SQL connection. SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection helper dot connection string. Now, DA is equals to new SQL data adapter. I have to write a query. Query goes ID, name, salary from EMP, bind the command with the connection. Now, difference is like this. Last topic, every query was written with SQL command. Here we are writing a query with SQL data adapter, right? Query. That was SQL command, CMD new SQL command. Then we used to write query and bind the command with it. Today we are writing the query with what? Data adapter. What query you are sending to database? If you want to display that query, message box dot show da dot select command dot command text. Yes, this is for command text. Then you say da dot fill where you want to fill the data set. What is the table you want to give? EMP. This is data set table. Then you say dt equal to ds dot tables of 0. Then this should be connected. Grid view EMP dot data source is equal to dt. Bus. That's it. What things are important in this is, first thing, you didn't open the connection. You didn't open the connection. Second important thing, you didn't write query method to execute the query. SQ, we used to write execute reader to execute select query. So one, connection is missing. Second, data a method is missing by which you can execute your command. That method is also missing. Third point, even connection is missing. Even connection is missing. All three statements are missing. We don't have connection open, we don't have execute reader, and we don't have closing connection. All the three are missing for us. All the three are missing. Who will do all this stuff? SQL data adapter will do all these things for us. SQL data adapter will do. SQL data adapter will open the connection. SQL data adapter will execute the query. SQL data adapter even will close the connection. And even data adapter is going to fill the data into data set. That job is also done by data adapter itself. Right? Now, where did you connect this? We connected to grid view. Now execute. What did you get now? From data set, we have one table called EMP. That table we brought into DT, and that DT we have assigned to grid view. If I run my query and program, you could see that we have your grid view providing table data with three columns: ID, name, and salary. Three columns: EMP ID, EMP name, EMP. So this is the query you're sending. Okay. This is the data you have. Grid view data. Grid view. Close this. Right? Now, another important thing in this architecture is, especially this point, data set is containing tables collection. In the tables collection, one table is there. That table index position is 0. If not 0, you can write like this also. dt equal to ds dot table, table name EMP. Like this also we can write. Debug, execute. Yes, then also I'll get data. So two approaches we have. Either you can get with index position, or you can get with table name, or you can get with the table name. Table name is EM. Both are valid techniques. Okay. Now do one thing. comment this part also. Comment this part also. Now you write another technique, and the technique is another technique, and the technique is you should say da dot fill ds. Don't give table name. Don't give table name. If you don't give table name, now how do you retrieve? One technique is like this: dt equal to ds dot table. Table name is table index position is 0. Okay, I didn't give table name, so 0 will work for us. Go for it. Yes, got the output. Now do one thing. Instead of giving 0, now I do a mistake. I write dt equal to ds dot table of emp. When you have not named the table as emp here, so definitely you don't have data now. So you don't get blank grid view, you'll get blank, no output, because you gave wrong table name. EMP is not there. So this I better call. There is no fetching. No fetching. Okay, another scenario. If at all I say like this, dt equal to ds dot tables of table. When you don't give table name, default table name is table. If I run my query, I'll find the data now. Yes, you have the data. This is default table name is table. If you don't give the name, C# will provide the name. And C# when provides the name, it is by name table. C# provides the table. So both techniques I covered, but I'll make available with this one. Yes. Fine. Data is up. This is like filling data into data set with table name. Here I'll say filling data into data set without table name. Without table name. That makes a difference. Okay. Okay. Now going further, now we'll try to retrieve data based on combo box. Place a combo box control somewhere here. Okay. Now this combo box control you want to have for employee ID. Right click, properties, here ID. CMB EMP ID. Okay. CMB EMP ID. Same. Select the form. Already data is there. Here I am supposed to write now. Form load email. Form load me I should write. What? For each data row, dr is equal dr in dt dot rows collection. As I already said yesterday, due through architecture that we have all the rows under rows collection, and each row is identified by data row object with index position. So now I say dr is one row now, one row. That row has 3 columns as I mentioned in the query, ID, name, salary. So I write CMB EMP ID dot items dot add dr of EMP ID. Bus. That's it. Execute the query and you can find that combo box contains all employee IDs. This is the query. You have all IDs here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the IDs we brought into combo box. Now, going further, now I place 2 text boxes. Here, go to toolbox, go down, you'll have here. This is one text box. Come down here. One text box. Go to toolbox. This is another text box. Two text box. One is going to work for name, another is going to work for salary. Come down. Here you can say txt emp name. Then here, go to properties. Here I give txt emp salary. Okay. Now, whatever the value you select in this combo box, based on that, I should be retrieving name and salary. Here, select the combo box, double click on it. Yes. Double click on it. Now you should write logic. Here also two logics are there. First, I'll cover one logic. What is that logic is? Here I say, what I say is data row dr is equal to dt dot rows collection of tmb emp id dot selected index. So what exactly we're doing? Whatever, if I select one employee id 1, so that 1 is index wise 0. That 0 is nothing but 0th row, right? And of that 0th row, now I say here values txt emp name dot text equal to dr of column emp name dot to string txt emp salary dot text is equal to dr of emp salary dot to string. That's it. This is one logic. Go for execution. 1 Ahmed 1200, 2 Rahil 2200, 5 salary is not there. If salary is not there, I want to get no salary, so that I have to write logic. So I write here if dr dot is null, which column you're looking for null? emp salary. What do you want to do at that time? txt emp salary dot text equal to no salary, else get the salary. Get the value. Now we'll run the query. We will run the program. Debug, start without debug. Now you select 1, 2, 5, no salary. It will check for null value. So this is one logic. This is one logic. One logic. Now second logic. Second logic. Comment this. Or we'll comment only this line. That is enough. Okay. Comment this. And now I'm going to write one more logic. This is one method. Second method is, I can say like this. Data row dr equal to dt dot select column emp id equals to plus cmb emp id dot text semicolon. Now what is happening? First logic mein we have used rows collection. First logic, rows collection. And in that rows, we are accessing employees data based on employee ID being used as index position. Employee ID based on index position. Now in the current scenario, if employee ID is 1, so 1 only will come in the output because I use text here. Here I use selected index. Small logic is there here, and you should understand this clearly. because this will be helpful again in my next module also. So dt.select empid equal to cmb empid dot text asset. It means select method is going to select only one row. Select method is going to select only what? One row. Single row it will select. Right? If it selects multiple rows, then always index position starts from 0, 1, 2, so on. 0, 1, 2, so on. But now select is not selecting all. Select is selecting only one row. So whichever row it selects, that would be always 0th index record it is. Even it selects fifth row from the table, that fifth row is one row only. That one row is 0 index. If it selects ninth row from the table, that ninth row is one row only. That row is again 0 index. So I write here 0. Yes, now error is gone. Now run the query. Your problem is solved. 1. Okay. 2. Okay. 5. Yes, it's working. This is using rows collection. This is using select method. Two approaches I covered. Two approaches. Okay. And here another interesting thing. Here I gave 0. Why? Because every time it will retrieve one row asset, and that one row is nothing but fixed index. Any row it retrieves will be only one row, and that row is in data row. It is what? 0th row. If it has two rows in the output, then it becomes 0 and 1. When it is only one output, fixed, always 0. That is the reason I have mentioned 0 here. 0. Now we will see, does select supports to retrieve multiple rows? Does select supports to retrieve what? Multiple rows. So that part we'll see. How to select multiple rows. Okay, then go back. I'll place one button here. Button. And I'll say properties. Text. Get employees. Or get EMPS, I'll say. Get EMPS. Name. BTN. Get EMPS. And I want to set anchor property. And that anchor property should be bottom and left. Should be bottom and left. Okay. Save. Double click on the button. Now what do you need in this? You want to retrieve all the records now? So I say like this. First I'll write dt.select. I'll write emp salary greater than 3000. 3000. Right? So whatever 4000 I'll write. Greater than 4000. Means whatever the number of rows are there, all I want now. So I write data row. So you have multiple rows for the output now. So you have to go for array. DRS. Data rows. Then I say string s equal to blank space for each data row dr in DRS. S plus equal to, then I say s plus equal to dr of emp id plus slash t. Again plus dr of emp name plus slash t plus dr of emp salary plus slash n semicolon. Then you have to say message box dot show office. That's it. An interesting thing to see is here when I use select method, I have used 0. Reason of giving 0 because it was retrieving only one row, right? And here I didn't use 0 because this select is going to retrieve multiple rows. All that multiple rows will be in array. array can store multiple values. For that reason, I went with array. I don't need to put 0 here now. Go for it. Execute the code. Click on get EMPS. Yes, I have all the data. More than what? 4,000. More than 4,000. More than 4,000, we have 5 records. One, two, three. 5 records are there. Go through that code once. You have any questions to ask me, you can ask. I'll just give you some time. Go through it. Compare easily. Because my experience, what I find is understanding is more important when explanation is going on. Later, even if I give video, you miss the explanation, then you may not be in a position to recollect it. So any question you have, you can ask me. Any question. So I'll be on mute for 2 minutes. Just go through that programs, both the logics. Anything you want to ask, you can use chat panel and can send your queries. Otherwise, we'll go further with the next part. So you don't know questions from your side? So use chat panel, confirm me so that I'll go with the next part. Srinivas, are you there? Raghav? Okay then, fine. Okay. Now we'll go a little further. Now I would like to make changes. I want to make changes, updations. So now I just place one button here for updations. So go to toolbox, place a button. Yes, place a button. Go to properties, text, update, changes, name, btn, update, changes. Double click on the button. Okay, what do you want to do? Till now, we were talking about retrieval. So database was source, data set was target. Now reverse. We are going to make changes in data set and we want to update it to database. Reverse process. So in this scenario, data set becomes source and database becomes target. How? Simple. DA dot update. What you want to update? Data set. Which table in data set? EM over semicolon. Now if I run my query, let's see whether it will allow us to perform operations or not. First operation. Here, fifth row, I update his salary as 5,200. Okay, I updated. Change. Now I want this data to be transferred to maximize this. Oh, here it is coming. 1 second. Update changes should be in bottom only. So I didn't set anchor tag for it. Come down. Here I have anchor. Top you remove. Bottom left should be selected. Okay. Save. Run the code again. Maximize this again. Yeah, now it is in bottom. Now what's the value you changed? 5,200. Okay. Now when I click on update changes, this data should be updated into database. It's error. What is it showing error? That is important. It says update requires a valid update command. There is no, it requires what? Valid update command. Okay, fine. So we got a confirmation. So it is looking for update command. It's not working. Chalo, try. Try for deletion. Select this record. 7. Press delete key on the keyboard. Gone. Record is deleted from data set. I want this to be removed from database. Update changes. It asks, update requires valid delete command. Earlier message was update requires a valid update command. Now it is asking valid delete command. It is asking valid delete command. Okay, now we will try for insertion. Again, insert one row here. Here I insert. Salary 1111. Okay, I inserted data now. ID you should not give because ID is however auto generated column. So I gave only name and salary. Click on update changes. It says update requires valid insert command. It means the logic what you have written here, it is not working for insertion, updation, deletion. It's not supporting. It is not supporting. All three it is not supporting. It was saying that you need insert command, update command, delete command. Chalo, let's see then. How do you write? Go on top. Now you require to have three commands. What are those three commands? Now, how do you write? You can say like this. SQL command. INSCMD, insert command. New SQL command. And I write my query. Insert into EMP, EMP ID, EMP name, EMP salary, EMP salary. 3 columns. Close the bracket. Then you say values at the rate P1 at the rate P2 at the rate P3. What is P1, P2, P3 are called parameters. Bind the command with the connection. This is your insert command added in SQL command. Insert. But how many parameters we have? 3 parameters, P1, P2, P3. And what is P1, P2, P3? You have to explain now because you're trying to store 3 statements. ID, why we are storing? ID we should not store, sorry. Name and salary only. Name and salary, only name and salary. ID is auto-generated column. So this is P1 and this is P2. Chalo, right. Now you should say two parameters. SQL parameter en equal to new SQL parameter @p1, comma SQL db type dot varchar, comma 20. Second, SQL parameter es equal to new SQL parameter @p2, comma SQL db type dot money. Yes, two parameters. Two parameters. And what is P1, P2? You have to explain. So again, why to give again different names? I'll give P1, P2 only. This is P1, and better I call this as P2. Objects also same I'll give P2. Okay. Now you should say what is P1, what is P2. So for that you should write P1 dot source column is equal to EMP name. P2 dot source column equal to EMP salary. You have to add inscmd dot parameters dot add P1, inscmd dot parameters dot add P2. da dot insert command is equal to inscmd. Yes. On the whole, I have inserted now two columns data, name and salary. And for that name and salary, we have two parameters. Now we have to see whether data is getting inserted or not. Open Server Explorer, expand the connection of your database, go to Tables, EMP, right click, Show Table Data. Okay, now we are going to insert a new row. Go for it. Start. Here I say, earlier we got error. Now we have added insert command. Rehan, 1111. Click on Update Changes. Close. Go to Table. Refresh. Oh, here ID it shows 1009. Actually, it should be 10. It should be 1010. So we lost. Okay, it's going like this. Max rows it took 1000 plus this 9. 1000 plus 9, 1009. In that way it calculated. But I want to have it for 10. So how to insert 10? Okay, I'll delete this one. Okay, I deleted. You'll have only 9 now. Refresh. 10th row we want, no? Okay, so I have to do some settings in SQL Server. Okay, let me go to Management Studio, SSMS. Connect. Whatever I'm doing now, this is only to restart my number. I don't want 1000 and I want to start my number from 10. For that part I'm doing. So this is all actually you learn in SQL Server classes. Okay, done. I executed now. Okay, now we will see. Exit from here. And now we will insert a record. Go back. Run the program again. Now you give. 4 ones. Okay, update changes. Okay, close this, go to table, refresh. Yes, starts from 10. We lost that number, now it is back. Now go to program again, run the program, you'll get 10 also there. Yes, 10. But still update doesn't work because you have written only for insert command. If I write 5200 and if I say update, it's error. Valid update command. Insert is working because I have written a program for insert command. So I have to write logic for update command now. So to write the logic for update command, I write SQL command updcmd equal to new SQL command update emp set emp name equal to @p1 emp salary equals to @p2 where emp id equals to @p3 bind the command with the connection. Then p1 already there, p1 equal to new SQL parameter @p1 comma SQL db type dot varchar comma 20. Then p2 equal to new SQL parameter @p2 comma SQL db type dot money. Third parameter SQL parameter p3 equal to new SQL parameter @p3 comma SQL db type dot integer. Yes, 3 parameters. Add these parameters. p1 dot source column equal to emp name. p2 dot source column equal to emp salary. p3 dot source column equal to emp id. 3 columns p1 p2 p3. Then you have to say updcmd dot parameters dot add p1 updcmd dot parameters dot add p2 updcmd dot parameters dot add of p3 da dot update command added now equal to updcmd. Yes, update command. Now updation should happen for us. Earlier it was not working. Now update command added. Go for it. Yes. Just I'll make one change. 5200. Name also you want to change. So I can change this name to Raju. Fifth name I should be changed. Update changes. Close. Go to table. Refresh. Yes, it's changed now. Earlier it was asking me to write, it was an error saying that required a valid update command. Now I added update command. Now, same way I should write delete logic also. Delete logic. So I should say again, SQL command del cmd equals to new SQL command delete from emp where emp id equal to @p1 bind the command with the connection. Then you should say here p1 equal to new SQL parameter @p1 comma SQL db type dot integer. Then you should write p1 dot source column equal to emp id. Add this del cmd dot parameters dot add p1. Then da dot delete command equal to del cm. Over. This is the logic for delete command now. So I'll delete one row from data set that should be removed from database. Okay. select this 8th row, delete, gone from dataset, update changes, gone from database, go to table, refresh. You don't have that data. 8th row is gone. But now important logic, important point. How many column data you inserted with this insert command? 2 columns. Do you really feel that real time will have only 2 columns in a table? Definitely not. Real time, sometimes table may have 40 columns, 60 columns, sometimes 45 columns, sometimes 25 columns, sometimes 100 columns. Now imagine a situation. If you are planning to insert data for 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 example, say some 20 columns. You are inserting data for 20 columns. You are inserting data for 20 columns. So what you have to do, you have to write 20 SQL parameters, 20 source columns, 20 parameters. Already 60 lines over. 60, 60. 20 parameters, 20 source columns, 20 parameters. Here, adding parameters. So 20 plus 20, 40 plus 2, 60 lines of code you have written. If you have data insertion for what do you call 20 columns. Acha, what about command, SQL command? Here also, you should have 20 parameters, 20 source column, 20 additions. Again 60 lines. 60 plus 60, 120 lines of code you already have written. Here, delete me. In delete, if it is like you want to delete data based on 60 columns, where employed equal to so and so, second column, and if it is so, then you should have again 20 parameters, 20 source column, 20 adding parameters. So it is like now 60 into 3, 180, 180 lines of code you have written. 180 lines of code you have written, 180 lines. That is for 20 columns. Imagine a situation like if table bad luck favors, like if you have 100 columns, then you are going to write hundreds of lines of code in it. Almost, 300 lines, 300 lines, 300 is like 900 lines of code you are going to write now. Least to least also 500 lines of code you are going to write. No, I don't recommend this logic at all. It's lengthy. Comment then. It's only to show you I added. Real time we don't use this. But you should know now why that error was coming. Comment everything you commented. Okay. Now this now also 2 columns data also 2 columns insert, 2 columns update based on 1 column you're deleting. Even here also, if you see, you have written now how many lines, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 19 20. This is 21, 22, 23, 24 lines of code you have written. 24 lines. Now one simple point. 24 lines of code now you're going to replace with just 2 lines. And the 2 lines are global. Doesn't matter whether you have 2 columns or you have to have 200 columns. Doesn't matter. Microsoft made this code simple to write. Simple. So you can say now SQL command builder, special class we have for that. CB equal to new command builder. In that you require data adapter. Then you should say CB dot conflict option equal to conflict option dot overwrite changes. Bas, that's it. Over. 24 lines of code replaced with 2 lines. Even if I'm writing it to 20 lines, so it's 180 lines of code decreased to what do you call hmm, 2 lines. Even if 900 lines of code is there, that is replaced by 2. This is global logic. You are not writing commands. Commands are being written by data adapter. Background. Are you interested to see those commands? Go for it. Only to check, I'm showing you. Message box dot show cb dot get insert command dot command text, then message box. This is only to show you I'm writing, otherwise not required. Only those 2 lines is enough. cb dot get update command dot command text, message box dot show cb dot get delete command dot command text, semicolon. But that's it. Go for it. Execute the code. Click. Insert command, update command, which C# is writing through SQL command builder. Yes, yes. Same. Insertion you want to see? Go for it. I'll write insertion. Two. Insertion this is. Updation, I'll just make one change. Here. 4 2s. 2. For updation. Okay, I'll have new value. Uh, 2250. Okay, 150 added. 55 I'll give. 2255. Okay. However, if these 2 statements work, updation, insertion, delete however will work. I don't want to delete data. No. Update changes. Close. Go to table. Refresh. 2255. Anand's new record is added. Done. Simple. See the code replacement. 24 lines of code replaced to 2 lines. Okay, 24 lines of code replaced with what now? Just 2 lines. That is the, now you are in a position to do insert, update, delete operation. Insert, update, delete operation. That's, so we'll stop the session here. Tomorrow's class I'll be continuing for remaining.